Hello, and welcome to another edition of Douglasville Impact, our community podcast. We have another great show coming at you today with a lot of news and events and a very special guest joining us today. So I'm Jason Post, your host, and we'll jump right in and introduce everyone else at the table. Mr. Aaron Szarowicz is joining us again.
Hi.
And Miss Tiffany Wallace is at the table once again. And in our fourth seat this week is Miss Bianca Walker with United Way of Greater Atlanta, right?
Hello.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. So glad you could join us today. We're going to talk about some really cool things that United Way does, and all the neat things that are that is United Way. So
absolutely.
So we want to thank you guys for joining us today, and we're just going to jump right in again and talk about what's going on in the city of Douglasville. Aaron?
Yeah, great to be back on the show.
Yeah, we missed you last time.
Yep.
Had a brief hiatus.
Yeah. Yep. A little bit. But I'm back and ready to bring the news. So
that's the news.
Bring it, Aaron.
Yeah, I will. I'm bringing it full force. So last week, Mayor Robinson and the City Council hosted a Hometown Connection tour. So this is a program that the Georgia Municipal Association provides and helps cities put on. So for the Douglasville Hometown Connection, we kind of did a bus tour of a lot of just so we could see a lot of the projects and things that are going on around the city. And
we have a couple of those, right?
Yes, we
Not
do.
too many.
Just a few.
Sprinkles here and there.
So we invited some of the state level legislators, some of the elected officials from the county side, and then of course the city council all came. So we were able to kind of see and hear about some of the things at the old jail site, which will become the amphitheater site in green space. We took a trip over to West Pines Golf Course, Jesse Davis Park. We talked about the Highway 92 project and got to see some of those things, which is kind of, there's a lot of movement over on Highway 92 right now, so so everybody's happy to see that.
Yeah.
We saw the new radio tower out by Factory Shoals Middle School.
Yeah.
So that was just a way to kind of help connectivity and clarity for emergency personnel on that side of the city.
That's actually a big project
Yeah.
between city and county together.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was a big one. And then, of course, we made a stop at the police department and heard from Chief Sparks.
Chief Sparks.
So it was a great afternoon. It was hot, so luckily we had some AC pumping in the bus.
Good call.
Yeah, that was
very nice.
I don't know if anyone would have survived that trip had we not, because it was like upper 90s that day and sunny.
Tour
Beautiful
out in the
day.
community
But,
during the heat wave.
Yeah.
It'd be fine.
Yep.
We're
So
almost in October. Nothing like a,
yeah, right. A little heat wave.
100-degree
Yeah,
October
right.
day.
How we
Yep.
do it in the South.
As we do.
That's right. Hey, I love it. So
the 92 project was a big focus, a lot of it, because
it was.
Really, we're bringing all these area legislators in to talk about all these projects, and the Highway 92 project impacts every single one of them.
It
really.
does.
And that's kind of what we're bringing them in to talk to them about and say, hey, these are all the cool things we got going on. These are exciting projects we got going on. The Highway 92 project is impacting every one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the one we really need your help kind of making sure that we're staying on top of and getting that one done. That's a GDOT project. It's not a city project that we're doing.
That's correct.
That is
It's
correct.
Georgia Department of
GDOT.
Transportation doing that one.
We cannot say that enough.
Georgia Department of Transportation.
Yeah.
Right, so it's their
We are
budget, they're
community
paying
partners.
for it, they're out there doing, their contractors are doing the work and stuff, so we need kind of the legislators to keep kind of prodding to make sure
it
that
on
it's
track.
moving along. Whether that's related to our tour or not, we may be seeing some new action happening up there to
Hopefully.
further that
Hopefully.
along. We're
Hopefully.
crossing our fingers, so that hopefully that's coming, so hopefully you'll be seeing even more stuff coming up soon on the Highway 92 to push that project along, because that was
Exactly.
a huge one that will have a massive impact on our community.
Oh, yeah.
So
Definitely. So then on Monday night, the TAD, the Tax Allocation District map, was approved.
that's right.
So that was a big deal. And so just to kind of clarify, we've talked about the TADs before, but just to clarify, it's a tax incentive program for us to attract businesses and development and everything to the area of the map. It's not, doesn't have anything to do with anyone's taxes. It's not messing with anyone's, end of the year
Reiterate.
tax bill
People
or
hear
anything
tax
like that.
and they're like, whoa,
Reiterate.
tax.
Right.
But no, this is
Right.
not a tax
So
increase.
yes, it's an incentive
Yeah.
program to draw businesses and all that good stuff.
And to help spur the economic development. Of
Right,
of
definitely.
That area.
Definitely.
I love the way the guy at the council meeting on Monday put it. He talked about, hey, this is a great opportunity for you to utilize tax dollars that do not exist and would not exist to
If
spur
not.
on development.
Right.
Indeed.
So it's not impacting anyone's kind of anyone's individual taxes, and
No.
nobody's taxes are going up. This is utilizing future tax dollars that currently do not exist.
Right.
We're bringing those tax dollars in with this new development. So
Right.
it's
It's far more
he put it
complicated.
a lot better than I did, probably.
I mean,
but
it's
yeah.
a really complicated thing.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done,
But the broad overview.
yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
want people to know.
And it's
is
a
that-
huge tool that's going to allow for the things like the downtown master plan and the town green project and those the north side redevelopment plan
Right.
and things like that are kind of built around the tax allocation districts and the redevelopment powers that brings up, allowing us to do those projects and
Right.
fund the infrastructure improvements and things like that
Right.
needed. So
And really, a lot of the
Yeah.
projects that we're working on now is kind of prepping for
Right,
getting our community
Yeah.
ready for those big,
Yeah.
developments and companies and industries to come in.
Indeed.
And so
so
it'll
we'll
be
keep saying that good things are still coming.
they are. Yeah.
That's another step along the road
Still-
for good
still in
things
the
coming.
pipeline.
We're
Right.
still in a lot of planning. We know that things are about to start happening. We know in the next 60 days we're looking at demolition at the jail site, cleanup at the old mill site.
Right.
Those are probably coming in the next couple of months.
Right.
So we'll start seeing some actual physical action. There's so much that happens in these projects that is in the background that the public can't see.
Oh yeah.
And that's where it gets really frustrating because they look and they say, hey, there's this jail that's just been sitting there and nothing's happening. And work has
Right.
been happening. You just
Oh,
can't see it.
diligently.
Sure.
behind the
So
scenes,
until
absolutely.
they start like knocking down walls, it's hard to really visualize
Yeah.
what's been going on. So we're to the point where we're about to start knocking down walls and stuff. So
So then people will kind of be like, okay,
Okay.
now something's happening.
Now, I
Absolutely.
get it now.
so it's an exciting time
Right.
again. Still.
And-
2020 is going to
So-
be a big year.
It is. Yeah.
And so the TAD area is made up of large portions of the downtown,
Yep.
large portions of the north side,
Right.
and then a little bit of the Fairburn Road corridor,
Yeah.
kind of running along
all the way down
92.
to I-20 there,
Yeah.
right, and then out to where the old mill
Right.
side and stuff is as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So going back to Highway 92 project, that's a big, we need that to finish on target here.
Please,
Right.
please, and thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when that finishes, that'll
City of
help us
Douglasville.
kind of, get a lot of things,
Absolutely.
get the ball rolling,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
So, and then finally, we have the logo painted on the bricks on Church
Yeah,
Street.
Yep.
Correct.
Church
yeah.
and Price.
Yep,
right there.
the three-way stop there right
Mhm.
by the O'Neill Plaza and in the conference center.
Right.
We repainted that yesterday.
Oh,
There was
okay.
a slight traffic detour
Yes.
that we had to
You got to
do.
shut down the intersection
Right.
briefly so they can paint it and then so it can dry.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So,
road's
yeah.
open now.
It's all good.
Anyone can
It's
drive.
all good.
Mhm.
Nice and bright again.
Yeah,
Right.
it's bright. And
All is
it,
well.
it really didn't fade that much. I didn't think.
No, I
You
didn't
could still
think
see
so
it was
either.
there. It,
Right.
didn't,
Yeah.
it wasn't completely
Just a
gone.
little
But
refresh occasionally.
yeah,
It's
it looks
gonna be-
it looks great.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just a little,
Just a little touch
little
up.
interest downtown, and
Indeed. But that's why we have side streets.
That's right.
That connect.
That's right.
Everywhere.
that's
It's a
right.
wonderful thing. Yes.
So that's the news. That's what we have going on. There'll be more. There'll be more in a couple weeks.
More to come.
So always
Yeah.
more to come.
Yeah, hopefully some exciting 92 news to come. Yeah.
I hope so too. I hope so too.
Well, I drive down 92 to get to work every
I do
day.
too.
So
Every
it
day.
is. Yeah, there's dirt moving.
Yeah.
There's
Things
Definitely.
are
mountains of
happening. Yeah,
dirt.
Yeah,
There-
there is movement
Yes,
happening that
there.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
they're doing lots of things. I can attest.
Well, and if you go to Jesse Davis Park, you'll definitely see.
Oh, yes,
the,
you will.
The
Yeah.
mounds of broken concrete and dirt
Yes.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
They are doing
Cool.
great,
That's great.
things.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff. Good stuff. All right. So on the event docket, though, we got a whole bunch of those coming up
Yes.
as well. We're entering the fall season.
Right, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, fall / summer-ish.
Yeah.
Still.
Still quite there.
Right.
Yes.
We'll give it until Thanksgiving.
As long as it's 90 degrees, I don't know that we can call it
Right.
fall, right?
Yeah.
Even in
I don't think
Georgia.
so.
Yeah. Fall doesn't really start until winter, and then we have winter, and then it's spring. So, there you go. Like 2
Yeah.
weeks.
spring
It's
for
like-
a week and
yeah,
then
Yeah,
and
then
then we
it's
have
back to
back to
summer.
summer.
Right. And then we go back to
Straight.
winter again for like 2 weeks and, just to kind of mix it up a little
Yep.
bit. But, that's how we do it here. But So this Friday, September 20th, we have our second fall concert. It's technically fall, so we're just going to go with that. And at O'Neill Plaza at 7 to 9 p.m., Bogey and the Viceroy is the band that will be performing. They are very entertaining, great. They have a great diverse playlist, so it'll be a wonderful time. It's free to the public. And everyone come and bring your dancing shoes because it's going to be a rocking good time.
And it's going to feel like fall on Friday. It's like 80 or so degrees, and by 7 o'clock, the whole plaza is going to be in the shade. So we're going to be sitting out there, and it's going to be very pleasant.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome music. It's going to feel
know?
like a nice fall evening on Friday
It's
here
not
in
98
Douglasville.
degrees. So
No, it's going to be good.
It's gonna be good.
Right. It's good.
It's
Maybe a
gonna
little
be very
breeze.
nice.
It'll be good to go.
It'll be fine. All will be well. So, and we're just going to, fast forward to October. So October 2nd, we have Coffee with a Cobb at your local Starbucks. That'll be from 8 to 11 a.m. And that following week will be the fall cleanup. That is when you'll be able to dispose of your recyclables curbside for 1 week. Public services will come by and pick it up, no questions asked. Just make sure that all of your items are at the curb, obviously, organized neatly.
In your spot,
Yes,
on your
in
day.
your spot, on your day by 7 a.m.
Right.
They're not doing any turnarounds, so just make sure
There's
you
a
prepare.
small list of items that you can't put out.
Yeah,
You
well,
can-
obviously,
you
TV
can go to the
monitors and
website,
things
but
like
there's
that.
a very small
Yeah.
list of paint that hasn't been dried.
Indeed,
and things
yeah,
like
like-
that, and things like that.
Right.
Very small list. You can check out the website for the full information.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but that's a
those-
good opportunity to just get rid of stuff.
Yes, those toxic things that could leach into the environment. Just let's not do that. Just check it on the website. So, so October 5th, we have the KDB Fall Recycling to tie into our cleanup week, and that will be at First Presbyterian Church, and that's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And pretty much bring your recyclables. There is a small fee, a $5 fee for monitors and television monitors and computer monitors, but pretty much everything is fair game. So yay for that. So and it's free. So please don't sleep on that. You want to do that. And let's see, October 12th, we have the second annual police department bike ride, and they'll start at the police department, do their route, and that starts at 8 a.m. And then directly thereafter is the fall festival, also at the PD complex, and that's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Free for the entire public. It'll be a day full of activities and for the kids as well as for the adults. So come on out on the 12th. And on October 19th, we have Hunter's Harvest at Hunter Park, and that will be from 12 to 4 p.m. So more fall activities. It'll be great. So you have two options.
That's right.
So you
There's
can go
no
to the
lack of
PD,
fall
and then
festivals.
you can go to the fall festival at also at Hunter's Harvest. So we're all in. Even though it's 90 degrees, we're still believing that fall is on the way.
Bring your sunscreen
Yes,
and water.
And water, please.
Absolutely.
So that's it. That'll bring you to mid-October, and that's what we have.
There's no lack of fall activities coming to the city of Douglasville.
Indeed.
And hopefully some fall weather will be right there with you.
All in due time.
So plenty of fall festivals, and you can find all the information on these events.
Yes.
If you missed any of the time, location details and stuff like that, you can go to the website,
Right.
douglasvillega.gov, and find all the actual details and everything you need to know.
And get social with us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter
Right.
as well. And you can access all of that from our website as well. So
Absolutely.
we are out in these
there
interwebs.
everywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
So visit us often.
Yeah, however you want to get your information, it's there somehow. And if there's some
Absolutely.
way you like to get information that we're not doing, let us know.
True.
We haven't thought of any other ones.
Educate us as well, because
Impact
always
at
helpful.
douglasvillega.gov. You can email us and let us know, hey, I like to get mine by smoke signals or whatever,
Right.
and we'll figure something out.
yeah.
We might have to work with the county on that one.
Yeah, right.
The fire department could help us
That
out.
might not be so
Right.
easy.
That might be a little different. We have options.
Yeah, whatever we need to do. Awesome. So a couple of things coming up. So awesome. Good job. Thank you, Tiffany, for
Anytime.
bringing us all the event information.
Sure.
And that's just the next few weeks, and it just keeps going after that. So definitely go to the website and go ahead and plan out the rest of your year because it's full. Now's the time to go and just kind of just fill your calendar up. So lots of things going on. So awesome. Thanks, you guys.
Sure.
So that's going to bring us to our fourth seat this week, where we have Miss Bianca Walker from United Way. And so you're United Way of Greater Atlanta, but you are the regional director for this region, which is Douglas County, Paulding County,
So
Cobb
the regional
County,
coordinator.
Regional coordinator.
For
of-
Douglas, Cobb, Paulding, and Cherokee counties.
That's a small area,
Yes,
right?
you know, not too bad, not too shabby on the territory.
6 county radius.
Yeah, it's okay. 4
You gotcha.
counties,
Big, big area.
It is absolutely
Yeah.
a big area.
But and United Way is a big thing. So let's just start off with the basics. Tell us a little bit about United Way. Most people know United Way, but for those who may not know exactly how you guys operate, tell us just the basic mission of United Way.
So our mission has actually changed within the last 2 years. So we are focused on child well-being.
Right.
And so we created a child well-being index 2 years ago, because what we realized is most youth, the zip code that they're born in typically is the zip code that they'll live and die in. And most don't have upward mobility. And so we looked at that. We did a lot of research in the background, looking at other programs in other states and different things like that and how they're tackling. And so we were like, okay, let's look at this from the gauge of the child. If we know that the child is well, then we know that the family is well. Then we know that the community is well. So if we look at all of the things surrounding the child that impacts the child, from the parent, maybe not having an education or needed training or different things like that, what's happening in the community, to impact this child, how do we do that? So we figured out in our 13 county footprint, there's about 500,000 kids that live in what we refer to as the low and very low child well-being. And so these are areas where their scores are very low, and them moving upward is difficult for them to get the resources, have access to resources, have access to education, things like that. And so we have made a mission by 2027, we want to reduce that by half.
Very fine.
Wow.
Yes.
So we've been working very diligently and very
Yeah.
hard in all of our
Absolutely.
counties and all of our areas, partnering throughout the city of Atlanta, throughout, all the communities, really focused on how do we truly impact this? How do we make this better? How do we look at and give these kids opportunities that some of us didn't have or some of us did have, but make it equal on both sides, so that just because this child is born in this particular zip code doesn't mean that they can't be everything that they want to be. And it's important to us. And so we look at it and we ask ourselves, how are the children? Well, if the children aren't well, what are we doing to make sure that they're well? So that's been
Yeah.
the mission that we've been on for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Very fine.
Everybody can get
Yeah.
behind helping kids.
Absolutely.
That's a
Yeah,
very
of
easy
course.
sell. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to know that. And when you look at it from the barometer of a child, you really look and see, wait, there's way more things impacting this child than you would even think,
That
does.
is correct. Yeah.
Transportation, for one, that's not something you would directly link to a child, but if their parents can't get where they need to get,
Right.
whether it's to
Right.
get to a doctor's appointment or to, just simply take them somewhere, that impacts that child and what that child is able to see, the exposure that they'll be able to get. So it's very important to us for them to have that exposure, for the parents to have that access, for the community to have that access, whatever it looks like, whatever those resources are. And so we're doing our job and our part to really to make that better.
Nice.
That's
Well,
great.
kudos. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
so on an operational level, talk to us a little bit about how United Way works. Do you do a combination of United Way actually going and putting programs on, or do you partner with other organizations that are putting them on to help support those
Yep.
organizations?
So it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
So we so every United Way is different. Let me just say that. every
So noted.
Yes, every United Way operates a little bit different. So we are primarily a fundraising organization. So that's what we do. We go out and we fundraise on behalf of agencies and different things like that. But we do have a combination of initiatives that we have, which I'll talk about a little bit, like Kids Home Initiative is one of our initiatives here in Douglas County. And then we partner with other agencies through our grant cycle. So we fund different agencies, so like your Boys and Girls Club and different things like that, for
Gotcha.
them to be able to
Okay.
fulfill their mission. So we kind of have that dual role in terms of we give money, but we also collect money and raise money so that we're able to do the things that we want to do in-house in terms of our initiatives, but also provide those agencies and those organizations that are already doing great
Yes.
work the resources and the funding that they need to continue their mission and be able to expand. So that's a big focus
And
for
then
us as
you
well.
guys, as United Way, are able to go out and kind of vet those organizations
We
and
do.
make sure that you're working with the best of the best organizations who are making the biggest impact on those
absolutely.
families and those children and stuff.
Yeah,
that
so
when you're-
that's one of those things we are
Yeah.
definitely known for in this area is vetting those organizations and really getting out there and seeing who's really doing what they say that they're doing, and not just that. Are you really doing with the money what you're supposed to do? You know,
Indeed.
we've had those situations over the years. I mean, we've all heard them. People not necessarily doing what they're supposed to be
Completing the
doing
mission.
with money and different things like that. And so we really make sure and we spend the time to get to know the agencies, get to know their work, and really make sure they're doing exactly what they say that they're going to do with that funding as well. So it's not just a pipe dream, so to speak. Like we
Right.
we
Like,
know
we're really
that you're doing
working.
Yeah, you're really working, you're really
Working at this,
servicing
yes.
this area, you're really getting in there and really helping, and your mission is really what you're putting forth, and it's not just something you're selling us just to say, hey, we want to check,
Right.
but you're really, really doing what you say that you're doing.
Indeed.
yeah,
So
'cause-
that's very important to us.
yeah, we've gotten to the point in our society where there's so many different things out there, and there's so many different
hard
things
to
hitting
vet
my email saying,
everything.
"Hey,
Yes.
help here, hey, help
Absolutely.
here," and you want to,
Yeah.
but who has the time to
Yeah.
really look into it? Okay, what is this organization
Absolutely.
and what are they doing and who's, and then following up once you give a check and say,
Yeah.
all right, what did they do
Following
with
the
my
money.
money?
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
Indeed.
I mean, there's
Yes.
hundreds of nonprofits started daily. Like it's
Yeah.
the statistics are crazy, and so it's very difficult. And so we do our due diligence of really making sure we know that this agency does this. We know the work that we do, that they do, and we stand behind them and things like that. So vetting is a big part of what we do, especially when we're going to give someone money.
right,
Very
right,
much so. Yes.
Yeah.
We kind of want to make sure
Right.
that everything is in order
Yes.
before we just turn over, things.
Yes,
so
sir.
it-
we're
that's-
reviewing the proposal
Absolutely.
extensively.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right, right.
it's very
Yes.
important to us. So it's
Yeah.
a full grant cycle that they have to go through, and
Oh, yeah.
there's training and there's different things that they have to go
Right.
through, and meetings with different key players and stakeholders and our board members and all of that. So the local process is a little bit different, but it still follows those guidelines. So here in Douglas County, our actual board members are the ones that assist in that process. So they go out and they vet those organizations and they meet with the executive directors and the board
Great.
members and all of that stuff. And so they really get to see the work at hand for themselves. We take site tours and do on-site visits and different things like that
Yeah.
to actually go to the organization, and you not just write an address on there and
Right.
we just assume
Right, like, this
that's
is
Yeah.
this.
this is where you are,
Yes.
and different things like that. And we
We're
understand, some organizations are mobile, so it's a little bit
Right.
different,
Right.
but we work that out to be able to really see those agencies in action.
yeah, and that's awesome. And yeah, that follow up is key.
Yes.
To making sure that they're accountable and stuff. My
Absolutely.
My wife does grant writing, and she does a lot of United Way grants. She does some for St. Jude's Recovery Center in Atlanta that
Yes.
works with you guys and
Yes.
actually services some of Douglas County as
Absolutely.
well. So yeah, she's gone through that process. It's very detailed.
Yes.
And it's that way for a reason.
Absolutely.
It's not just
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we want
in
some
the
money.
last couple of years,
Yes.
data has been a big part of it too that
Oh, yeah.
we've been
Yes.
pushing, of just not saying that you're doing it and not just giving us any old numbers. We really want the
Yes.
numbers to reflect the money that we're giving and different things like that. So we've been pushing that data, especially as we moved into the child well-being mission and initiative of, hey, what do your numbers say?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're saying you're servicing Douglas County, what does that really look like? What are the number of kids,
Indeed.
families, whatever, that you're servicing in that county? Show us those numbers so we can have that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That transparency is vital,
It
for sure.
is
Definitely.
extremely vital.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then so you come back next year and you didn't meet the numbers that you said you were going to. Well, that's going to impact. Well,
Absolutely.
this organization over here looks like maybe they'll be able to. So this is where we're going
Absolutely.
to
Allocate.
put the money and allocate
Yeah.
the funds this
And
year.
those can
so
be
yeah,
hard conversations sometimes,
Indeed.
you know.
Definitely.
That's
Yeah.
true, yes.
I don't enjoy those. I don't enjoy that part of my
Yes.
my job because that is a big piece of my job. So in the regional coordinator position, I work heavily with our advisory boards and I work heavily in our investments. And so I'm typically the person reaching out and making those calls. Hey, you got the money. Unfortunately, you did not get the money. So that,
Right.
that can
Yeah.
be very
Yes.
difficult at times, but we do a very good job and we do our due diligence of giving feedback to the agencies, of helping them to understand why you maybe didn't get the funding this year, but these
Yeah.
are things that you can work
Work on
and,
this.
you know,
Come back next year.
and move forward. So, yeah,
Absolutely. And because you've got a responsibility to those who have given United Way money.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, so you're
donors,
accountable
you're
to them because you're wanting to make
Absolutely.
sure that their dollars are going to where you've told them they're going and making the impact,
Absolutely.
the greatest impact, and that's what United Way does.
Yes,
So,
and we get
Yeah.
calls, and people want to know, and you know they want to see their money at work, and so
Yeah.
I have an obligation or a responsibility to them to make sure that who we're giving money to is doing what they're supposed to be doing, and it's not just haphazardly out there, just any organization.
Yeah.
So that's important to me, and it's important to our stakeholders.
Now, how long has the United Way been in existence?
We're over 100 years old. Yeah,
Indeed,
so we've
yeah.
been around a very long time.
Indeed.
So we are attached to United Way worldwide, but like I said, every United Way in every
It's
state
different. It's different.
operates a little
Yeah,
bit
a bit
different.
differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's quite
Yeah.
a few throughout the Georgia, throughout the
Yes,
state of
that's
Georgia.
true.
So, you know, everyone's mission is a little bit different. How they function is a little bit different depending on
They're serving different communities,
Different
different
areas. Yep.
populations.
So it's specific
Have
to
to
the
be adaptable.
need of the
Specific needs
area
in
where they are.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's the beautiful thing about United Way is that it can adapt based on where it's located, and it's not a one size fits all model that you have to do it this way. It's you have the United Way name, go forth, be great, do what you need to do for your
Yes.
community.
And serve.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, so there's one thing that kind of helps with that I started hearing from my wife and then continued hearing as it moved into our community. Tell me a little bit about what coordinated entry is and
Okay.
how that affects what you guys do and how that affects our community.
So a big part of what we've figured out in this midst of looking at child well-being and different things like that is there's a homeless population across our 13 county footprint that I'm not going to say is not addressed, but it's being underserved. And we wanted to look at it from a different lens. Well, within that, the biggest piece for us is kids and how that is affecting kids. So we have kids who are sleeping in cars. We have kids who are couch surfing,
Yep.
you know, different things like that. And so between our relationship with the school system, we do a lot of things with the Douglas County school system. They run an amazing campaign for us. Thank you, Dr. North. We appreciate you. So they run an amazing campaign. But through our conversations with them, through our conversations with the city, we realized there's a homeless population out here. And so at the beginning of the year, we did the point of time count, which was really important to kind of see and pinpoint exactly how many people. A big part for us was looking at the kids, like how many kids are there really that are homeless. And so we were able to partner with the city and become a part of the coordinated entry and really getting involved in let's do a more targeted, more focused look at the homeless population and the resources that need to go to that population, the accessibility, different things like that, to bring to them and say, okay, how do we do this? And I know Aaron's been a part of that as
Yes.
well. And so,
Yeah, so that point in time count is
Mhm.
actually volunteers going out
yes,
in the evening or maybe overnight or early in the
I did
morning.
that.
Yeah.
It was great.
And going to where, homeless people kind
Yes.
of set up camp, I guess, for
Absolutely.
lack of a better phrase, and just physically count how many are out there over one night. So you can kind of get an idea of
Location,
the location,
numbers, different
numbers,
things
and
like
things
that.
like
Yeah.
that. And so, and part of that coordinated entry, I think we've talked about it, but for those who don't know, is just kind of setting up a centralized system that all of
Yes.
these different nonprofits and faith-based organizations and people in our community who serve the homeless population or abused children, abused women, they kind of all share a single resource, and so they can refer to an individual or a family or a group of people to,
It's streamlining the
organization
process.
X
Yeah.
that
Right.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
will serve
Yep.
them, and so it's a better way to serve the
Right.
the
Yep.
homeless population.
Yeah.
It's streamlining the process. So instead of someone having to go 5 different places to figure out what they need and resources, you can go to one and it can spew it out to those that,
Right.
okay,
It's
we know.
centralizing the information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We know United
Got
Way
it.
does this. We know this agency does this. Da, da, da. Okay, here's
Indeed.
one central place. Put all that information out. And so that
Yep.
was very important for us to get involved in that and really see how we can help. Like I said, I alluded to the Kids Home Initiative. That's a big part of that for us. So Kids Home Initiative focuses on children who are homeless and how we can impact them and help them and give them and their parents the resources they need, to be stable. And so over the last year, we were able to help 70 families.
Very fun.
Yes,
That
90%
is
of those are
excellent.
stable. They're in their own home,
Nice.
different things like
Great.
that. So that's important to
Yeah,
us. So we can do
definitely.
that through through Sweetwater Mission. They're our partner agency that helps us fulfill that mission and go forth and do all the great things that we need to do to be able to really help those families have access to what they need to and get the resources. That's a big, I know that everybody keeps saying, she's probably said resources 20 times, but it's extremely important. You know, you just don't realize the little things that sometimes families, you know, don't have, whether it's from hygiene products to just simply being able to have breakfast. And so working with the school systems, we realize sometimes the teacher can't teach sometimes because the child hasn't had breakfast or the child didn't get sleep the night before, and so they can't focus on this work. This looks like nothing
the
to me.
least of my worries.
This is the
They're worried where their
least.
next meal's coming from.
I didn't eat for the last 2 days or something like that.
Exactly,
And so for us, that's important of how do we centralize that? How do we really get involved? And so Sweetwater Mission has been a huge partner for us to be able to do that out here in Douglas County and really, you know, impacting those kids and getting them stable. They go through a program. It's a great program. It's a year, but like I said, 90% of those 70 families are stable and doing well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah.
And when you have the access, you don't necessarily think of the small things, you know, and that's pretty much what coordinated entry sounds like. It's just the equity of access to the resources that you need.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've talked in the past about this community and the people and the citizens and the volunteers, and there's so many organizations out there, food pantries and health clinics and service providers that are out there wanting to help. And this is just a way to bring all of them together.
To connect them
when
all.
someone comes in and say, oh, yeah, we can help with this, we can help with that, we can help with these things to really,
It's bringing everybody to the table. Everybody has a voice. Everybody has a seat. This is what we provide. Okay, now how do we...
In a single mission.
Yeah.
We're all focused on homelessness. How do we impact this and how do we, you know, eradicate this as best as we can in our community?
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It starts at home first.
It does. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
All
important.
right. Well, is there anything else about United Way? Anything
So
else
I just
coming
want
up
to highlight
program-wise you
one
want to talk
great
about?
thing that we do for our organization. So quarterly, we hold what we refer to as a gift in kind truck. And so we have donations from all of our different corporate partners. So we get anything from toiletries to desks and different things like that. And so any agency, any 501c3 nonprofit can come to this event and get whatever they want to off of the truck. And so so it's amazing. So we do it once a quarter. I absolutely love. It's one of the next best parts of my job is being able to meet all the agencies. So we've been able to give things to like Loving Hands and communities and schools and different places like that for them to have. So our mission is, let us help you get some of the things that you need so you can put your dollars towards the mission itself that you have. So you don't have to focus on where am I getting cleaning supplies, where am I getting food, because we get a lot of food that's on the truck as well, different things that they're able to do for their summer lunch programs or their weekend backpack programs and things like that. And so, like I said, any agency that is serving Douglas County that is a 501c3 agency, they can sign up for it, and it's about an hour and a half, depending on the amount of stuff that we have on the truck. But we unload the truck, and it's free. Like you just give me your name. I send out an email, once a quarter, and that's pretty much it.
Good deal.
Wow.
Nice.
Yep. So I believe our next one is coming up October 3rd.
October 3rd.
And where's it? Do you release the location now, or is that to be
can.
determined?
So it's actually not too far from here. So it's at 8595 Club Drive. So it used to be actually our old United Way office, and they let us still come and host it there.
Great.
And it brings everybody in, and so it's good. So we do it about 9:30 in the morning.
Okay.
But any agency, they can send an email to bash@unitedwayatlanta.org. That's my email address, and they can get all the information from me.
Excellent.
So it's pretty cool. I enjoy it.
That is very cool.
Yeah, it's great to see the agencies get the things that they need and not have to worry about, we ran out of dish soap or we ran out of this and this, that, and putting that money towards that when they could be putting it towards the families or the children or, whatever it
Towards
is.
the mission,
the
funding the
mission
mission.
of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's important to us. That's another way for us to give back. It's another way for us to extend that hand to the agencies and really help them out.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Excellent. We'll have to put that on the calendar, and
Absolutely.
definitely we'll have to come out for
Indeed.
that one. That sounds like
Sure.
a good day just to come out and
We have a good
out.
time.
Yeah.
It's a good time. You guys will get to see me make my little speech to everyone. they kind of, and it's great. You see the organizations collaborating. It's like, oh, we know that you said last week or last month you needed this, or we were at this meeting and you said this, and they really help each other and, you know, make sure that they're getting everything that they need. Or, hey, Bianca, such and such agency isn't able to make it, but I know that they need this. Is it okay if I take this to them, and things like that? So just really seeing the community and the agencies come together and work together to get the things that they need, not just for themselves, but other agencies that they know are in need of stuff is it's great. Like it's very heartwarming. I thoroughly enjoy putting those on quarterly. Yeah, we have a good time. We do. We have a good
uplifting
time.
day. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, anything else?
That's
what else?
it.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Yes, it's a lot of good
Well,
stuff
it's
a lot of
happening.
good stuff
great.
that
Yeah,
United
civic
Way
good
does.
going on.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and you know, any volunteer opportunities or anything, it's on our United Way website, which is unitedwayatlanta.org. There's always beautiful things happening, volunteer opportunities, things that we're getting involved in. But you can go to the website and check it out, or you can contact me. My information is on there. Click any of the counties that I'm involved in, and you will find all of the information you need to get in contact with me.
Like,
That
where's
is
Bianca
awesome.
today?
Yeah, right.
Yes, it's some days it feels like that. You never quite know. It just depends. I could be in Cherokee, I could be in Douglas, I could be in Paulding, I could be in Cobb. It just depends on what we have going on.
It's like you're the Carmen Sandiego of the metro region.
Yeah, the office sometimes refers to it as "Where's Waddle? Where's Bianca?" We don't quite know today. She's got a lot on her calendar, but it's great. We enjoy it. We absolutely love.
That's awesome.
love,
Wonderful.
Love it.
We got you in Douglasville today, so
Yes.
we're the lucky ones today.
You guys
That's
are.
awesome.
Yes, it's been great.
That is great. So well, thank you for coming in and tell us all about the great things that United Way is doing. So UnitedWayAtlanta.org is your website.
Yes.
Your email address again is
bash@unitedwayatlanta.org.
okay. Excellent. We'll get them in the show notes as well, so people can find you
Awesome.
and find out all the good things that United Way
Yes,
is doing.
thank you for having me. I
Thank
enjoyed
you
it.
guys for joining us at the table. Thank you again, Bianca, for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for all tuning in and listening. Again, if you want to find any more information, you can go to the United Way website.
Yes.
You can email Bianca directly and just say, hey, where you at today? I want to come hang out.
Right.
That's
Yes.
fine. So yeah, definitely visit the websites, find out more information about United Way.
Yes.
Visit the city's website, find out more about all the events coming up and going on.
Correct.
And that wraps it all up. So we'll see everybody on Friday at the concert here in beautiful downtown Douglasville. And
Absolutely.
until next time, thanks for joining us on Douglasville Impact.